Hello everyone, Max Power with another video. Thank you for joining my channel once again. I have the Kidrobot collectible vinyl figures of Itchy and Scratchy from the TV show of The Simpsons. Now this is the flock version. There's been 3 versions that Kidrobot has made, and that is there is a black and white vinyl set. It's identical, it's just a different color variant. So the black and white, and there's the colorful one, which is just what you see here, but just a straight non-flocked, and then you have the flocked version. Now the flocked version you can only get at IamRetro. It is an exclusive at IamRetro, and I'll put the link for the company IamRetro on the description. But this is the flock version, and I have to say that I'm very happy with this purchase. It's one of the, if you're gonna get one, either get the I don't know, I don't really care for the black and white one. It looks kind of plain. That one, I believe they say it's an exclusive to Kidrobot, so you may only be able to get it at their website. But the vinyl ones, you can get it anywhere else, or the regular color variant you can get anywhere else. But these ones, just IamRetro. And if you have to get a set, I would advise that you get the flocked version. Now, what I like about this set is this right here, the packaging. It's hard for me to see this being displayed without this. Now, this takes up a lot of space. That's the only unfortunate thing. But you know, if this was a polystone statue, then this would be its base because it complements it so much. Don't get me wrong, you can display these pieces on their own without the box, and it would be just as nice, but I think that this really takes it up a notch. The box itself, I do like the illustration, and this is pretty nice how they did the from the episode My Bloody Valentine. I think this is what it's based off of. So here you have the different scenes from the show, and this is basically what it's representing in the figures. So let's go ahead and remove this here because we're talking about the figures. So let's get in a little closer and check these guys out. Oops. All right, so they can stand on their own. Now, let's see, Itchy, the mouse, does come with kind of his own little stand. Now, this broke off when I was unpackaging it, and it looks like it was supposed to be glued in. It's really hard to stand him up without this piece, so I think they really designed it so he uses it as kind of for him to stand, to be able to stand. I've been able to kind of finagle a little bit and just be able to stand him up. You have to work with his legs and use his little tail here. Now these, for Itchy, there is very little articulation. Scratchy has got more. He doesn't have as much. There's no articulation in his arms, so you can't move his arms. There is some articulation in his legs, so that's what you have to kind of play around with in order to not, if this broke off, you got to kind of play around with this. But even then, just the way his legs are set up, it's really hard to do to stand him up. You really have to use the tail to be able to balance him out. And it takes a little bit, you know, to get that tail. And the tail itself is not very strong. So on mine, everything is very delicate. As you can see, mine just kind of broke off just now. So I'll have to glue that back in there. But the tail itself is very soft, so there's not much, you know, to be able to use this as a way to balance them out. So I'll glue this one back since this is my display piece. I did buy a separate one that's just in the box, and I won't remove them from the box. So there's a couple things that I have to do, and that is to glue this back on and glue his tail back to him. But other than that, everything on this figure is fantastic. I love the flock. It really, anything kind of that I think in the vinyl world that is flocked, I think is great. Now, as far as how it stands up to the test of time, that I don't know. I think that the more you play with him, the more you accidentally remove some of the flocking, and you'll get little kind of dead spots or little areas where the flock is removed. So I think with these flock version, the downside is that the more you play with them, or even through the time, the flock will eventually come off, along with probably collecting a lot of dust too, because obviously it holds on to dust a lot more than just straight flat vinyl. So again, back to the articulation, just articulation in the legs, nothing on the arms. His head does move around some. So, and that's pretty much it for Itchy. Now Scratchy, on the other hand, he has a little bit more articulation. His arms can move up and down, and his legs also. And you can move his tail. Okay. And that's pretty much it. There's no additional articulation, which is good. I mean, these are supposed to be kind of just for you to display. He's got the big hole here in the chest where the heart's supposed to have been ripped off from Itchy. It doesn't go back in. So looking at the detail, again, the flock version is just fantastic. If you are to get this piece and you can't, I'd say go with the flocked, if you don't mind the extra care that you have to take on this. Or maybe just get the flocked and get the vinyl ones for display and just keep these in the box. I'm not too sure. I got both of mine are flocked, so I do like this version a lot. And again, you can only get it at IamRetro, the flocked version. And the prices, there's about a $20 difference, I believe, in the price, but you can get it on sale at IamRetro. He always has some sales going on where you can get him for about $60 compared to the $80 that you normally would pay for the flocked version. All right, now the accessories that they come with is the newspaper, and that's a newspaper. If you remember the little information on the box where it shows Scratchy reading that you need a heart to live. I always chuckle at that. Every time I look at it, every time I remember the episode, I just chuckle at it. And these are just funny spoofs. Really, the cartoon is a spoof of Tom and Jerry if you grew up with Tom and Jerry. But it comes with this that he holds and the heart that Itchy holds. And there is a way that you can put it on here. There's a little section here to key in. So you put it on there in his hand this way. There we go. And that's how he holds the heart. And for Scratchy, he also has the same, he has some pegs that you go into for his hands. There you go, right there. I think it's strange that the way they made it for the newspaper is that you can't have him reading the newspaper, rather than it's just kind of sticking out this way. That's maybe just for a display reason, so you can kind of show him, kind of show what he is reacting to. So let me go ahead and clip him in here. All right, and there he is. He fits perfectly. And also, obviously, when you read something, you look to the other side, and he's got that kind of a look, like, oh my God, I just found out something, and he's got that expression. I love that expression on these Itchy and Scratchy figures. So, putting him down here for display. Now with Mr. Itchy here, since I broke his tail, or his tail came off, he won't be as easy to stand him up right now. So let's see if I can do that real quickly. And this is where you're supposed to glue him in. It would have been nice if they would have just made the peg long enough so you didn't have to, it didn't have to be ripped or glued. But that's what happens. So if yours came, you have to glue it back on if you want stability in the way he stands. So let's go ahead and see if I can do that real quickly. Without the tail does add a little extra balance. I may not be able to since I moved his legs around. It's kind of complicated getting his legs back on to where he's supposed to be. All right, I may not be able to do it. At least on this video, I may not be able to do it. Yeah. All right, okay. I'm not gonna fiddle with him because it might take a little too long here for the video. Yeah, there you go. So this is how it's supposed to be displayed. Again, if you're looking to get any of the 3 versions, I would go with the flock version. I think is well worth the extra money to have them. Of course, there's extra care because they are flocks. You can't always play with them because the more you play, I think the more you'll remove that fabric or that material, that flock material. So, all right, hopefully you enjoyed this video. And again, if you're interested, you can get these guys at IamRetro. In fact, you can only get these guys on IamRetro. If they're sold out, just keep looking. It keeps coming back in stock every other week. So if he doesn't have them, go ahead and just wait and just keep checking, and they will be in stock. So, all right, guys, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you in my next video. You guys have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.